In today's video, we're going to be going over how you can identify which wild animal is going to be out in the environment that you are doing your inspections in, whether it comes to nesting materials, feces, or tracking. First, we'll be going over snakes, flying squirrels, possums, raccoons, alligators, rats, mice, squirrels, armadillos, and finally bats. Snakes. So here in Florida, we have different ways of looking to see what kind of snakes are in our environment. One's going to be shedding of snake skin. A lot of these snake skins can also show different patterns, so you can identify which kind of snake you are going to be around in your crawl spaces. You got your tracking along the sand and dirt that we have out here in Florida to identify, once again, you have a snake around your surrounding. You got their digging for their burrows, along with their feces. As you can tell, here in Florida, we have so many different types of snakes, and we have 6 venomous snakes, including coral snakes, water moccasins, so on and so forth. Flying squirrels. Flying squirrels a lot of times like to get up in the attic spaces through your soffits and your eaves area, along with your roof angles, ridge vents, ridge caps, so on and so forth. As you can see, we see here that there's nesting materials. We can identify their feces as well. Kind of looks like rat feces, but a little smaller. These guys can cause a lot of damage out into your attic space, which can obviously decrease your property value and, of course, cause more problems with your AC unit. Possums. Here in Florida, possums like to crawl up walls, along with getting onto trees and shrubs to get onto roofs for homes. Reason being, they want to find access to your attic space. Once again, like a lot of these other animals, that you're going to find a lot of these feces tracking and trailing throughout the insulation inside of these attic spaces. So while doing your inspections, make sure that you guys are very adamant on going up into the crawl spaces or going up into the attic spaces to check for signs of feces and tracking, like so. Otherwise, once these wild animals get into the attic spaces, they have access to the entirety of the home, and we've already gone over in some previous videos how that can be very hazardous to the homeowners and damaging to the property. Raccoons. Here in Florida, raccoons love to make their way into your attic space, especially during mating season. What they like to do is they like to have the nesting materials throughout your insulation. What they'll often have is a lot of feces leading up to their nesting areas that they are in as well. Trust me, if you have a raccoon, you'll know about it. Not just by the distinctive smell that you're going to find, but of course by the feces as well, which looks extremely similar to possum feces. And of course, the ripping off of shingles in an area to get to your attic space, J-vents, and also the soffit structure where the roof angles are located. These guys can cause a lot of damage to the property. Alligators. Here in Florida, alligators can cause a lot of problems, actually. If you have a pond in the area, you'll know if you have one. You can come across signs of their feces, along with tracking here with different types of terrain like sand and dirt. And of course, you also got their nesting materials. A lot of times you'll find the young there. Just be aware of your surroundings while doing your inspections. Rats. Here in Florida, rats is the most common call that we get in the wildlife industry. These guys are the smartest animals that we work against as well. As you can tell here, they have tunneling throughout the attic space in your insulation. That means that you have an active problem throughout that home. These guys are known to cause house fires through chewing of wires as well. You got brown staining, you got insulation that's kind of removed in different areas, and obviously you're going to find a lot of feces as well. You got chewed piping. They also are known for having, again, teeth as hard as copper. Mice. Right now, mice are running rampantly through all of Australia. They're actually currently calling it right now a mouse plague, because there are millions of mice running all over the place, causing property damage in farms and in homes. We don't want to get to that point, do we? While you're up in an attic space, make sure you look at the insulation as well for feces, trailing, highways, along with, to the left there, you saw that there was a tunnel there. Again, tunneling just like rats. Squirrels. Again, very similar to rats and mice, they like to have tunnels throughout the attic space. They chew through wood very easily as well, and they can cause a lot of property damage. Chewing on wires can always be an issue, of course. Squirrel droppings are a little bit larger than rat droppings, and of course the nesting materials you'll find through wood, insulation, twigs, and so on and so forth. Armadillos. Here in Florida, armadillos are actually a pretty big problem. They cause a lot of damage to property when it comes to the foundational problems of the home. Once these guys start to burrow around AC units and foundations like you see here, once again, it can cause cracks throughout the foundation, and homeowners insurance companies will not cover the damage. You also got their feces that you saw there, and again, burrowing. The Florida brown bat. Bats are a massive problem right now in Florida. In fact, they're actually protected all the way from the month of April to August. In fact, we can't do any bat exclusions during that time. They're very easy to spot when it comes to you having a problem. You got their feces all over the place, staining all over the sides of the house, and of course in the soffits and so on and so forth. These guys can cause a lot of property damage, and you'll know just by a distinctive smell that you guys have bats. Make sure you wear your respirators while in your attic spaces or while working around an area that have bats. It can cause a lot of health problems, especially if you have things like asthma and other types of breathing issues. That's it for today's video. Thank you so much for staying tuned and watching this video all the way through. We hope it was educational and informative for you guys. Remember to make sure that you are very thorough while doing your inspections, guys, while you're out in the field. Be adamant on looking for signs of feces, staining, tracking, insulation problems, burrowing, tunneling, so on and so forth while doing your inspections. Be sure not just to be thorough, but to be positive that these houses have no signs of wildlife damage or active problems while you're there. We come across about 95% of all the jobs that we get in the wildlife industry are from new homeowners that have purchased a home that passed inspection. Let's make sure that here at InterNACHI that we stand out from the rest and that we are better than the next person. You guys have a wonderful day. We hope this was informative. Thank you so much for your time.